Shout out to everybody here. Bitcoin finally got the dump that we were watching for a long time. I've been talking about this double top. I've been talking about this area. I've been bearish on and off for a long time. I've been pushing, hoping, open-minded for a little bit of bullishness every day. I said, can we get above this level? If we could get above this, if we could do this, we just don't seem to be breaking through those key levels. And every single time we had a boom, I'd be honest, I was very disappointed Friday. Friday was really the nail in the coffin. When we got above 98.5 and we could not hold it, you knew that there was trouble in paradise for Bitcoin. Let's break it down for BTC. Shout out to anyone in my trading group. Last night, I gave a beautiful update talking about a bear flag on the 15-minute. I suggested that I could trade, I had a scalp trade on the 1 minute long to see if that cup and handle could play out. Let me talk about it. But I basically gave you the key to trading, and even this bear flag today said we're likely going to 84,500. I've been calling it ever since we lost this key level. Bang, even this bot wants to get in and enter into these longs. Let's see if the bot can maintain. But again, I teach you to get into shorts when you lose the 200 MA, and there's the 5 minute losing the 200. We have not regained it yet. I say, why would you open a long until you regain the 200 MA? Anyone that longs before you regain the 200 MA, at least on the 1 minute time frame, does not understand how to trade with the moving averages. They are going to tell you what's going to happen. You just have to listen to them. It's absolutely beautiful. Look, here the 1 minute lost the 200 MA, and we took a nasty drop to the downside. Yes, I was in a long this morning right here on that big move. I made $400 in under a minute. I know it's insanity, but I did do it. It was a very quick scalp. So I lost one trade for like $70. I won one trade for $400, and that was the morning for me. And then the short began to move to the downside, and we got the slap easy. Now, if you weren't into short, jumping in a little late, but the flag did look like it could break further to the downside last night. Let me bring that music down. Last night, I was just talking about trading. Okay. Of course I was, right? No, you weren't, Sam. And we just went over the idea that if you got above the 5 minute 200 MA, then that would be a possible idea to long. But if you did not, there was just no reason to long. And last night, we ended up making the flag and breaking further to the downside. I just want to show you kind of what I'm seeing here, or what I showed you guys last night. Anyone who is in my trading group, I like to be put to the test in my trading group, and I like to see people are paying money, right? They're following me. Who here was prepared for the dump? Did anyone make massive gains in the short? One of my beginner students posted a gain of $391, and he has a pretty account of like $2,000 or $3,000. So one of my beginner students posted me a trade this morning, and he said, man, I shorted it for $400, and I felt proud because I don't know if he ever would have been able to figure out how to short or learn it, but bam, man, shout out to Conrad, 361, 87% gains in the short, dude. That's huge. From 94,770 all the way down. Wow, I don't know if you kept that thing open, because that would be in massive gains right now if you're still in that. So shout out to my team, shout out to anybody. And so let's see, buy and we'll go. Someone says 333. I was in the short. I'm only in spot, so no gains, no worries. 4,000 USD gains, 89K BTC printed. Amen. When discount to join your private group? I know, right? The bear market discount. Are you giving your closes in the group? Yes, if I get in and get out, I do. Yes. I made big gains. I don't trade everything, be honest. I give great updates. I can't make 1,000 trades, so I can't make every single trade. Like, not everyone probably made the scalp I made this morning. 1K in gains, 590%, 180%. All you had to do was look at the 4-hour chart. Amen. Respect. Shout out to Rave Song Records. Great time to learn how to short with confidence. Trust the technicals. Amen. Amen. The chart will show you. Flip it upside down if you're uncomfortable, you're not sure. The chart will show you what's likely going to happen. Like, even this looks like it's almost unsustainable, right? Like, if that was an uptrend, almost looks, I don't know. It is breaking the previous high, though. I guess you'd say, well, it is. Again, you would look like symmetricals that would always break to the upside. Interesting idea that we could almost have a constant. Even and kind of defy the shoulder, head, right, possible shoulder, head, right, shoulder, right? No way. So this tells me that more downside is coming. We're going to 84,500. I see a mass liquidation. There's just nothing stopping us. There's no support or resistance in these key levels, man. All right. So, you gotta, support and resistance is like a bullet. If you shoot a bullet, it goes until it's done, and he'll hit something, right? Same thing with price action. Like, price action's falling. Like, it needs a reason to stop. It needs a double bottom, inverted head and shoulder. There has to be a reversal pattern. Look, it attempted the shoulder, head, right shoulder, but it rolled over. It made a symmetrical triangle. If you traded every symmetrical triangle bearish that we pointed out in the last few weeks, you would have won every single one of them. They break down to the downside over and over and over again. To the point of no return. It's absolutely absurd. So anyway, we're going to see kind of where we stand. I'm going to move to a new chart. But this does say, I see 84,500 coming for Bitcoin. And it just looks likely we have to face the music on our way further to the downside. Looks like Libra coin was a top signal. LA Vape Cabal top signal. You know, and we should have known they were the top signal. I can't believe it, but it was right there in front of me. You know what I mean? A bunch of young, wanksters in a house. It makes sense. God bless everybody, though. I don't want to, God bless everyone. Everybody makes mistakes. I was young and stupid. Everyone makes mistakes, man. We're all beginners in the world of life. But, man, look at that dump to the downside for Bitcoin. The M pattern end up playing out. The falling wedge faked us out once, twice, three times. They slow bleeded us sideways for weeks. And then right there on Friday when we had the huge pump, looked like we were going to close above 98.5. Things were looking absolutely beautiful. And then, no, we got X-nayed on the X-nay, and that was it. Now, is the S&P going to follow, or are we going to get a bounce? I'm going to talk about that. We're going to break down the bigger world markets, too. We're not just going to stick here on Bitcoin. And you can see, the daily 200 MA now is waving its tail. That's usually likely where you're going to go. Highly likely. The VRVP, the gap in the VRVP right there, I've seen us fall through VRVPs thousands of times. It's a double top in your face. We even made a shoulder, head, and shoulder head, right shoulder there. Bearish. Now, I'm going to show you a few things on the bigger time frame. We're going to go to the weekly now, right? And we're going to talk about the weekly. And we're going to add a moving average too as well here, just to show you something. A moving average I'm going to add is a moving average I started using when I first started trading, but I haven't used it in a long, long time. And I'm going to tell you, and that's the 34-day moving average. I used to use the 13 and the 34, and I used to trade the crossings. I didn't know a lot. I picked up a few small strategies. These are some of the first things I started learning when I began trading. All right. It's going to be this pink line. I want to make sure it's just very apparently different than the other ones. That one looks good to me. So there's our 34. You see where the 34 is? It's this pink. It's going to be this pink line now. When you lose the 21 on the weekly, you likely head to the 34. This is also the daily 200 MA area. Very similar, 80K. All right. So that's one thing that you're seeing. Now let's go further to the weekly here. Let's go back to some previous bull runs on BTC. And we're going to go to the BTC USD all-time history index chart. Okay. We're going to go back to the bull run of 2016, 2017. Everyone's going to ask me, are we still in a bull run? And I got to be honest, from the way I trade, Bitcoin is, yes, in a bull run. All coins, but Bitcoin, yes, still in a bull run. All right. And I'm going to explain all my reasonings why. And you can go back 5 years from now. People will rewatch this video and say, yep, this is, I'm not going to change the way I traded from now till then. There may be some nuances, but I know that my structures will be the same because that's just how I've been doing it for 10, 15 years now. So look, we had a breakout. We boomed up beautifully to the upside. Really nice pump. And you would say, that was the beginning of a massive rally. We were booming. Trading View. I'll reset it. For once, Trading View just couldn't keep up with me for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just keeps reverting to hood. I don't know why. I've changed it 100 times back to BTC. Even the NASDAQ, whatever. It just keeps going back to hood. It's like it wants me to trade hood or something. I don't know what the heck is going on there. A bit odd. So let's take a look back at the all-time history index. We'll get through this, then we're going to do my top-down analysis. It's all going to make sense. But this is I put this out to the trading group this morning. I said, if you can't get back above resistance, that flag's going to dump on you. This is some bullish divergence there, trying to catch a bounce. And if anyone's going to find the bounce, we are. Have no stress, have no fear. Take a deep breath. These are just great prices for a long-term asset. Bitcoin's going to very big prices in the next 5 to 10 years. 86,000 is a blessing. Take a deep breath, everybody. Have a big long-term As long as you got income, if you have a good job right now, you're in a good spot. If you're planning on becoming financially free, you're in a good spot. If you have a long-term outlook, it took me dang near 15 years to become financially free from the day I started playing with these charts. 17 years, really. So it's going to take some time. All right. Most people will probably do it faster than me. I'm a slow learner, but once I get it, I get it forever, right? So anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about here. So for whatever, I would like to try this one more time, but, you know, you can see that we went, if we take away the VRVP for a second. So we went all the way to the high here. You can see, and what happens is we gap away from the 21-day moving average, you see? And now we come back to the 21. So that has happened in a bull run before, okay? And then we bounce off the 21, and we even whipped nastily below it. Look at that. So think how everyone felt when we went all the way down back to 460 from the high of 800. I mean, everyone said that was basically a 50% retracement. The bull run was over. People said that was it. But look, we would eventually go on a massive run to 1,000 and then have a nasty retracement back again from 1150 to the 21-day moving average, followed by another run up and another run back to the 21-day moving average. You see? These were followed by some bearish divs too, like some divs that, you know what I mean? Because that's just a very hard stretch up. And then, lo and behold, a golden rally that you just wouldn't believe, okay? Followed by another massive dip back to the 21-day moving average. Here we dip from 2,900 all the way back to 18. I lived through these insane times. I started getting into Bitcoin around here. This was just absolutely absurd. There was talks about Bitcoin Cash becoming the Bitcoin, and people were going back and forth. We came back to the 21 again. It bounced. All right. So we've, in many bull runs, we've had retracements back to the 21-day moving average. A couple times we've wicked below it, or once really. All right. I'm just showing, you know, so that has happened in that past time. I just want to show you. Now, here we go again with the rally that we're in now. Here, did we lose the 21? We got back above it. We lost the 21 here. Both of these times, when you did lose the 21, it created a massive dump. I'm a fan of when you lose the 21, it does create some dumpage. All right. Oh, and I lost my, hold on. I lost my 34 here. Let me just slap my 34 back on again. It's really the daily 200, so I don't know if it's even needed, but it's something to teach you. And it's just been a long time. My old buddy, the Paul Pierce, I called it. You know what I mean? Because Paul Pierce was number 34. I was huge into Boston sports, and I implemented a lot of Boston sports into my trading. Moving averages, you know, the 12 was the Tom Brady. No, I'm just joking. I don't have the 12, but the 12-day moving average, the Tom Brady. I was trading the Tom Brady for weeks. Then I moved to the Paul Pierce, 34x leverage on the 34 simple moving average. I called it the Paul Pierce. No, but seriously, back to brass tacks here. I don't know if I can make you laugh today. The only thing that make you laugh maybe your portfolio. Sorry. Not a good joke. The crowd may not like that one. So yeah, we could drop here down to the 34-day moving average, the 34 weeks, on the weekly there. You can see we've done that in the past, and it has somewhat held to a wick. So it could happen. All right. Right there, we've wicked down. So we've done this in the past. It doesn't mean it's the end of a rally. Here's the reason, in my humble opinion. If we forget about the pi cycle, if we forget about Bitcoin cycle, and if I become a simpleton and just trade the chart the way I'm supposed to trade it, it was a double top. Okay, and double tops break down 68% of the time. I'll tell you what, the simpler I trade, if I didn't know a human being, if I didn't listen to crypto Twitter, right? If I didn't know any other YouTubers, which I don't, I'll be honest, right now, I watch like one or two other YouTubers randomly when it catches my thing, usually at the end of my stream, because I'm on, you know, but for the most part, I do not go watch it, because I know in the past, I've been spot on. I've watched 2 or 3 YouTubers, and even just a piece of it has got into my subconscious mind and thrown me off. So I choose not to watch other YouTubers. I choose to stay on what I'm doing and focus, right? So if we had just not known a thing, and again, I teach this to my students on my monthly, once a month class. I say, if we just look at trading the way it's supposed to be looked at, like back here, everyone said we were going to the upside, but this was a clear head and shoulder pattern. It was a shoulder, you know, on the daily, you'll see it was beautiful. The weekly, it's a little chunky, but on the daily, it was an absolute head and shoulder pattern, right? This was bearish divergence too, and I kept telling to everybody, I've never seen bearish divergence not dump. I said this to everyone. I said, my system says when you are away from the 21 and you have bearish divergence, you are going to drop down to the 618. And it's what my system says. It says it's going to happen 99% of the time. I could not believe that they kept us at a channel, and I was just like, I was overly bearish, and then they just kept saying no and no and no. And then when they didn't dump us, I had to say, well, maybe we're bullish, right? Look at me as an analyst. You have to see what happened in the last few weeks. I did everything I could to protect every single person that comes to this channel. I said, I don't know, you know. I said, if we get above the 200 MA, well, and we longed a bunch of times here, and then I got out when I said, hey, we hit the 200 MA on the 1 hour. We never got above the 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame clean. Remember that. We never got above the 200, you know, a couple times, but we would lose it. There I was, you know, that's when we were at 99.9. That looked bullish. Everything was looking okay there. That was like the day, and then boom. All right. And I even sold, I don't know if you remember, I sold the local top there too. I sold early. I sold like, I think it was 98, like 686, right? And it went up even more. And I said, oh, well, you know, I took this I was trading this flag because this is what I do. I just trade flags and I get out when I'm up. I know when I'm away from the 21-day moving average to take profit. So I was in this 1 hour flag. We got away. I said, it doesn't look amazing. I believe the 4 hour got rejected pretty close to the 200 MA too. It did. I believe the 3 hour, was it the 2 hour? Oh, yeah. But the point was, you don't open massive longs, like you don't go heavy long until you break above the 4 hour 200 MA. That's when you like really go, in my humble opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but that's when I would be, you know. So the whole time I kept telling you guys, like, it's not bullish, it's not bullish. And then when we broke below the 200 MA on the 1 hour time frame, that's when you have to say, like, that's no go. And then if you were watching my channel all weekend, I said, like, this is a half of a head and shoulder, man. I said, that don't look good. That's an M pattern right there that hit resistance. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just, like, it's all there. The only thing I was hugging, and I kept saying to everybody, I said, well, this is an Adam and Eve double bottom, which break out. Like, these break out 90% of the time. This is the first time I've seen one that didn't break out. So they did a good job there, because that was the first time they made one they've made like thousands of these in the last 18 months, and every single one of them has boomed. And Bitcoin dumping even more to the downside right now on the 1 hour time frame. I do see more downside for Bitcoin. And I just want to get back to the other chart I had for you there. Did I delete all my work? I don't think so. Hold on. Oh, come on. Anyway, I'll show you the chart right now and we'll just recreate it. But it says we're going to 85,000. That's just 85 something. Let's see what it says. My previous chart. Yeah, it says, I mean, even 80 down to 80K is like a bigger level, but this one right here is like a clean version. So the bear flag to 85,200, right? Looks likely to me. BOOKMAP has massive amounts of liquidity below us. So, I mean, whenever I see a measured move and BOOKMAP and the measured move are spot on, it tells me where we're likely going to go. So, yeah, this says 84,500 for Bitcoin. So we're going to recreate this right now. I don't know how it got deleted, or it might be on a chart that I just can't find at the moment, but it's okay. The idea is, look, they tried to make that inverted head and shoulder. They faked the reversal pattern, right? To get some bots induced, to get enough people to say, oh, I'll trade the right shoulder with a stop loss there, you know? They got people in hope now, hope mode, like, you know, hope mode, they'll do weird things in hope mode. Like, they'll anti-trade themselves. They'll revenge trade a revenge trade. They'll revenge trade a revenge trade a revenge trade. They'll revenge trade a revenge trade of a revenge trade of another revenge trade. You know what I mean? Like they'll do it all. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just, you know what I mean? Where's the liquidity coming to pump the alts? The moon? Exactly. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. So, again, yes, there was some big gains in altcoins. Let's be honest. We all had them. We all got into coins that were up pretty nice. We researched them. We found them. Heck, everyone I know was in gain at one point. So everyone say, hey, there's going to be a bigger rally. There's going to be a bigger rally. Nobody paid themselves, you know. I didn't pay myself enough, but I paid myself pretty dang good. Along the way, I kept paying myself. I kept telling everyone, you gotta pay yourself. I remembered that the rallies are never what people say. I kept repeating to myself, Sam, take what's around you. You know, I'm not saying I sold everything perfectly. Dang no, but I definitely DCA'd heavily into BTC. I stayed away from a lot of altcoins. I was very light in memes, you know, comparative to my entire portfolio. And, you know, again, I may not have got some of the biggest wins. I sold Trump coin for 60K and I walked away, cashed out. You know, I did what I had to do to survive. And you got to take some profits every once in a while so you can look back and say, hey, at least I did take some profits. I mean, you're looking for a slight bullish divvy here. This is a pretty strong, it's slightly, you'd have to extend it as like a double bull. Like it has to be this extended mode. I have seen that play out. Bulls are just searching for some type of inverted head and shoulder here that could get you out. Some type of rounded surface that can stop the pain here to the downside. What time is it now? It's 10:34 on that 34. Something about that 34 today. I'll tell you what over here. I mean, right now, once the momentum is to the downside, you just have to say that you have to complete that. You have to just like lay down and say, whatever way it's going, it's going to continue to go. So like this wants to dump. And so you just got to let it go the way it's going to go until it doesn't. Eventually, we'll see a strong enough double bottom, divergence, something. But like, what's going to stop this? In my humble opinion. I mean, that's telling me, yeah, that measure move is 83K. And these are pretty spot on. Sometimes it wicks a little further on. I'm not like 1,000%, but I'm like dang near like 899%. Something funny. All right. Every once in a while, I channel my inner crypto face. And I hear his voice in my voice. I don't know how it happens. I can't explain when it happens. It just happens. You know when he like makes fun of pencil necks or something? I can't do it perfectly either. When I try to do it, it won't come out right. And then he'll probably make fun of me for doing it because it just won't be right. But I've just watched him too many times. He makes me laugh, man. He gets a nasally voice when he makes fun of someone. It's hilarious. You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. So a nasty bullish div there, attempting to stop the pain. The low, you know, first you have a low that's lower than that, then a slightly lower, and then, you know, the lower lows get a little closer together. If you did flip this upside down, I mean, that would be the end of a rally. Like, how would that continue? It looks like a bearish div, right? Same thing as a bullish div. Could we get the bounce here? Could Sammy swing along today? It's funny, the biggest dumps could be the band. I made one of my craziest longs today with a $350,000 position, right? Shout out to my man making gains. Look at this young buck in my trading group pulling in another $431, his second trade from last night. He dang near made 50. I don't know. He took $2,000 and made easily almost $800 off of it. Dude, watching a young student of mine that I've met here in Florida, and I've been, you know, tutoring him and teaching him how to stay mentally tough no matter what happens, and he's been putting in the work. And it's pretty awesome to see people that are following my guidance, understand they're learning how to trade. And they're doing it responsibly, using stop losses. He's not aping in. He didn't get liquidated. You know what I'm saying? He could see it for what it is, took a trade, and he's in the tutelage in the trading group. So he's a young 19-year-old in the trading group who met me maybe, I don't know, 2 months ago now. And he diligently joined the trading group after following me. After he saw my house and started hanging out with me and he saw my lifestyle, he said, okay, what do I got to do to become successful? And I said, listen, it's not going to come fast. You got to stay disciplined and you got to, and it's going to be hard. I said, there's going to be tough times. All right. There was some beginning, you know, it's not easy. I just want to say, shout out to everybody here on the live, everyone that keeps pushing, everyone that stays positive no matter what in these times. You figured out the key to life. The key to life is to actually find your chi no matter what's happening around you. If you can stay focused, if you can stay disciplined, if you can stay in a positive zone no matter how insanely chaotic the world around you is, then you have control. The yogis, right? A yogi master. The idea is it's all in here. The world isn't around you. You're in control of reality that you're living. You see what I mean? Like they can put him, Gandhi in prison and he could sit there with, and meditate. The point is, that's not my house, just so you know. I moved from that place, but it was a nice place to live at the time. All right. So I wouldn't flash my actual home, but I did live there. It was pretty cool. So, but short-lived. It was ephemeral, a short-lived time. It didn't happen for too long. All right. Someone says, I'm so happy I can buy more with these prices. Well, what I really like to is extreme fear. Whenever Bitcoin's in extreme fear, it gets closer to the buy zone. So bring the extreme fear down in here. Let's go to 15. We can hang out. And so you can't be buying extreme greed. You got to be selling extreme greed. This thing has almost never been wrong, man. If you sell every time we're in the 80s to the 90s, really everything from 75 up, and you buy any time from the 15s to the 20s, this thing has been spot on. I have to be honest. You could just use you don't even need the charts. I just use this thing. I use the charts to perfect the entries and define key areas, but this thing is spot on, man. All right. So there's a nice bullish divvy there. A bullish divergence is a liquidation event on the BOOKMAP. And so you'll find the liquidation event. You'll see an uneven move in price action here, and usually sparked by a short squeeze like such. But see how we have the So what they do is they liquidate. They come down. Everyone thinks that's the bottom. So they long, right? And then as it's coming down, a bunch of people short late because their emotions get them to short. They're like, oh, they didn't short here, and then when the big move comes, they get like pulled into the candle. The candle pulls them in. As the candle dumps, they get pulled into the trade. It's like they can't stop themselves from following. It's like a lemon. You know how the lemons, they fall right off and they follow another lemon? So now what's happening is you have a bunch of stop losses up here, and there's too much. There's too much free money. So the market maker turns around. At that point, people think they've caught the bottom for sure, and they all start to long. And then again, a big green candle comes, and who is it? The same people that fell down into this short, revenge trade into the green. All the stop losses are here, and then at that point, they still have some of the smart money that decided to long here with a deep stop loss somewhere maybe here. They might add to their position at this double bottom area or and they actually know how to find divergence. And then boom, they liquidate the late shorts again. You see, and that's what a divergence is. The divergence is actually, you see what's happening? And this is what we do. This is why all the mornings that you've watched my show for the last 2 years, all the scallops I've made has been right here when they liquidate the shorts off of the bullish divvy. Now, today is one of the biggest liquidations in history. I'm very skeptical. It's not your average Tuesday. You're not going to see me pulling circus moves today. I mean, I did one of my craziest trades today, actually, which is a bit absurd. I made some of the fastest money I've ever made in my life trading, but that was, I'm not trying to brag. It was $400 in under a minute, but it's like whatever. I could have also lost $2,000 in 2 minutes. So it was a high risk trade. And I don't suggest, you gotta, I executed on the 5-minute chart using the stochastics RSI, and you could say I got lucky, whatever you want, but I pulled it off, and I was in and out like a Boy Scout. I mean, dang, that doesn't sound right, in and out like a Boy Scout, but the point is, like, when you go camping, but I think I'm not going to say that anymore, especially with all the shadiness going on with the Boy Scouts. I was never a Boy Scout. My dad wouldn't allow me to do that. He didn't think, he thought it was shady, and he probably was right. You know what I mean? My dad thought wrestling and the Boy Scouts were shady. So my dad said, no, not for my son. My parents weren't into sleepovers too. I very, very rarely slept over somebody's house. It would have to be, yeah. And I say that to everyone else. Be very careful. A lot of parents are very free about the sleepover thing. That's where things happen. I'm telling you right now, something happened to me. I don't want to get into it, but just be careful. All right? Just be careful, man. And I know I'm never going to talk about that. It's a pretty weird issue, but just be careful letting your kids sleep over anyone's house. All right? I would say no. I would say never, especially if you have a daughter. I would say never. But it's up to you, Exactly. It is a pretty weird, but it's the facts. You know what I mean? In and out like a bank robber. I know, right? That's what the Scoutmaster, Kevin. You guys are crazy, man. Show us on the doll. So look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. We could break out of this with an inverted head and shoulder. Nice little bullish divvy that could break further to the upside. That's what we're looking for. All right. 100%. My kids were not allowed. See that? He knew too. I love it, man. Shout out to Brad, man. God bless you, brother. Shout out to everybody out here that's trucking through Bitcoin. 87K. Actually, 87K ain't a bad price. That was the beginning of a bigger move, if I remember correctly. 87,000. We hung out there until we had a big move to the upside. Yeah. Yeah, that's why if I trade Lev, it's in and out. It's faster. I found for me, you'll find your trading style. You'll find you like to hold things long term. You'll find you like to scalp. It depends on your personality. Like some people like to drive a little faster than others. Some people are Nancy Pants behind the wheel. I'm not saying you're a Nancy Pants behind the wheel. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody. Hey, it's not my fault you don't know how to drive. No, but seriously. And then what you always want to see on days like today is you want to see your previous bounce, even on a local time frame, local smaller. So look, we bounced right here at 87,260. That's going to be your next resistance. If you can't get back above, if you can't close a 1 hour, a 15 minute, heck, a 5 minute, but I like the bigger time frame. If you can't close one of those bigger time frame candles above 87,250, you've got to expect more downside. You've got to expect that this is going to go down, all right? Now you break above this, you make this head, this shoulder. Now we got ourselves a possible, and this might take 2 hours to form. Now again, you could say, but I missed this big pump. I mean, you're going to get every single move in the game. Now this is the two scenarios that are going to happen. I've watched this 1,000 times. So that's why I'm able to see if this is a possible inverted head and shoulder, because I can see it. There is a divergence there. It has 60% of the signs of the reversals that I've seen in my life. And you guys sitting here and we watch reversals between, 10:15 and 11:45 all the time. So if this thing, and then what you're going to look for is you're going to look for what? The 30-second to regain the 200 MA. And look at the 30-second out of the inverted head and shoulder right there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Bit of a little flag on the 30-second chart. Can the reversal begin on the smaller time frame? Looks like it may. And then you'll break above the 200 MA on the 30-second chart. Once you do that, all right, you'll consider somewhat, so all this has to happen. See, what I did is I studied every single reversal in the history of reversals. As many as I could, right? And you could do this too. You could go to Walmart. You could go to any time. Go to find any dump that happened, and then it eventually reversed, right? The S&P, Forex, I don't care. All the stuff I teach you, you could have figured out as well as I could have, but it took years. You just had to get really intricate with your back testing. And then you'll watch every reversal, and they'll reveal a footprint. They will. They'll do the same thing. You'll see the similar behavior every time. All right. So before we got to break above this 200 MA. Now, if we kind of dwindle out and flag, we're going to continue to dump. If you get us a nice robust break above the 200 MA, then I can go, okay, can we get above the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame? All right. If that happens, then we look for the 3 and the 5, and we start to build. And so if anyone tells us we're going to reverse, I will know. I'll be one of the first people to see, because I'm going to watch this like a hawk. Now, someone could say that's a bit insane. That's a crazy way to trade. Like, I have other, I would say I think I'm a bit crazy in the way I do things, but I find myself very detailed. Like, if I were to clean your house, I think you would be like, wow, I was one of the cleanest. Yeah, I'm very detailed. I know that about myself. My mother was very detailed, and she taught me how to be very detailed. Like, the way my mom cleaned was just amazing. She painted amazing, She double sanded, double primed, like, she knew what she was doing, man. My mom restored chairs, wood. Like, I sat with my mom. She did finish. My mom was also a painter. My mom was like one of the coolest people you've ever met. Like, she was so cool. She was nice to everyone she knew. Never spoke bad about anybody. Always had a positive thing to say. She kept it real. She was a hippie. She dealt with my dad, an old Irish, you can only imagine, So, now we kind of look, is this flag going to break out? Like, this is how we would have at least start to break back to the upside here for Bitcoin. And my mom was Irene. Shout out to my mom. Daisy, baby, Daisy. I love you, Mom. Hope you have a blessed day today. 88,500 could be the bounce. But again, we got it. Bounce. Came up. Resistance, resistance, resistance. That's a hard flip there. You got to flip 87,250 to remain bullish. So what's going to happen is some people are going to take this short at resistance. They're going to say, hey, we should short this because it's at resistance. I've learned that I don't need to do any of this stuff. You could basically stay short unless the 1 minute breaks the 200 MA. You could get into the 30 and the 5 second. I haven't implemented those enough, and I think it would get a bit too crazy, and it would be just 2 more time frames. I like the way I have it locked in with what I'm doing now. So, like, you got to get a bounce here to the upside. Tight moving averages suggest you could get that move to the 200 MA. Whenever they start to get tight again, and you kind of see it's like a shoulder head. It's kind of got inverted head and shoulder vibes. There's a bullish divergence there. The indicator even catches it. So the scalp trade would technically be this trade right here. You'd be using the 21-day moving average as coverage, because if you lose the 21, the chart's kind of, for this to really move, you got to get the scoop, right? And imagine $87,000 BTC, all right? And you can't live in fear. You just can't. People that live in fear will not be able to take advantage of the lows. What you have to do now is plan for 87 all the way down to 67. I'm planning for 87 all the way down to about 67,000. And start allocating for like where and when you want to see, you know, like where you want to see things. So that's what I'm looking at. So very, very tight here for price action. And shout out to my lifers, man. I can see not a lot of people were liquidated in my trading group, and that's just like, it's an attest to the type of trading group I have. Like, it's not a bunch of people that get liquidated. It's really awesome. Like, I'm so proud. Like, my most beginner trader last night made one of his best trades and did the best with his portfolio. I'm amazed. So look, this looks like a beautiful flag that could break back to the upside. It looks like we've stopped the bleeding here for the moment. It does look like we've stopped the bleeding here for the moment. I could be wrong, but that's just what I see happening here. Stokes curving 87,200. And again, we get back above 250, 87,250 there, 87.3, right as I say that. There's a nice little scalp there to the upside. Now, why wouldn't I take it? Well, I'm still riveting off of my $350,000 scalp. And I want to kind of bring down my heart rate from that trade. I'll be honest, it was one of the biggest trades I've ever taken. And I had to execute very fast. And if I didn't, I was going to lose probably a couple grand pretty fast. So beautiful. The flag breaks out exactly as planned. Because the tight, I mean, this is what's supposed to happen. You're above the moving averages. You got the bullish divi. And there we get the move to the upside. The 30-second probably did break the 200 MA or is about to. And see how we put this all together? See how the charts show us what's going to happen? We find the flag. We see how it's kind of like a shoulder, shoulder, head, right shoulder, right shoulder. That is a 68% chance of a break to the upside. That's an inverted head and shoulder as far as I'm concerned breaking out. That would be your neckline. The neckline doesn't have to be straight. It can be slanted. Sometimes there's two shoulders. It doesn't have to be perfect, man. Trading is a mixed martial art, but you can see that, and what a nuance of linguistics there to pull off. But it is a mixed martial art. You combine a few different things, and it's not always perfect, but you have to find a versatility inside of the move, right? Amen. Nobody wins with a cookie cutter recipe. You finagle it. No trader's the same. We figure it out each time. I win big sometimes, but also get liquidated for smaller amounts. I want to grab the 99 liver, but man, I work so much and gone so much. I know it would change all the trading though, because I'm terrible. I might have to jump in here soon though. You do whatever makes you happy, Chris. Whatever God brings you to, man. I don't want to force my services on anybody. I never want to be like that guy, like, you have to go on the crypto liver, Again, I believe I've helped so many people, and I truly am passionate about my business, and if I didn't think my business was helpful and amazing, then I wouldn't talk about it. If I didn't think it represented my mother and my father with honor, then I wouldn't discuss it. But I do believe my business is amazing. I love CryptoLifer.com. I put my life's work into it. It's my entire everything. Like I could, I've given my life to CryptoLifer.com. If you want to learn more, go to CryptoLifer.com and find out. But again, Chris, it's whatever. I just want God to lead you to financial freedom or whatever way, where you're supposed to go to learn the lessons you want in this life, man. I always let the levy play out to the liquidation. No stop loss. It's funny, man. Stay pragmatic. I mean, look at that beautiful pump there to the upside. Again, don't get too excited by this, right? It's not like, oh my gosh. But again, it is how you reverse. But for anything to happen, we need to break that 1 minute 200 MA. We're a little far away from it. While we're waiting here, let's do our top-down analysis for Bitcoin. We really got to look at what's happening on the bigger picture. BTC USDT. And again, you got another resistance kind of right here where you wicked. See, and you can even bring this up. There's a little local spot of a bounce. Yeah, see right where we're at if you look left. Because look, bounce, 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 bounce. So like really 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces in that area. And that's where we've, you got to flip that. We flip that, we're definitely, if we flip that, it's like that yellow line is a guarantee almost, right? So that's what we're looking for. Shout out to Weeks. Weeks definitely has some of the lowest fees in the game if you like to trade futures. Also, they have awesome spot coins, and they recently got some quick spot coins pretty fast too as well. I was pretty happy to see that. But if you ever want to trade futures, actually, I would suggest you do it with a demo account and you do it lightly. But if you ever would like to trade futures, Weeks is a great place to do it. All right. I'm also here on spot. That's where I DCA into BTC and buy BTC on the low, right? Whenever Bitcoin is dropping into a key low, I'm buying more BTC. Like right now, Bitcoin's at 87,000. I'm going to add to my BTC stash. Like there's no reason not to buy a little more Bitcoin in these key levels, right? So there I buy, about 2 grand more of Bitcoin. You got to nibble on Bitcoin in the fear. If you're not buying Bitcoin when it's in total fear down here, then what the heck can I be doing? I can't be buying greed in the high areas, right? So I have to be accumulating Bitcoin in the fear. I'm one of the only YouTubers you'll see that constantly buy BTC in front of you. I don't know if it's probably not a great idea even for my safety. May God bless me and continue to keep me blessed. I get it. But I accumulate BTC. My goal is to have a certain amount at a certain time in my life, and we'll go from there, right? You have to remember everything you do is a risk, Even being on YouTube for me is a risk. You have to understand that. I don't think people really I guess they do. That's why most people wouldn't even be on YouTube, right? You're already taking a risk being on YouTube. Again, God bless me and keep it real, man. But not everybody wants to be the crypto lifer for many reasons. Not just So remember, you earn everything in this life. Look at that. I like that little. See that trend line? It like almost came back to the trend line, attempting to get a bit of a bounce there. So at this point, it's looking interesting. The perpetuals are kind of calling my name a bit. I'm seeing how one of my models may play out right now. And so I'm saying, hey, I don't force myself to trade. I trade when the trading tells me it's possible. Doesn't look amazing. Let me get back to my top-down analysis before I get sucked in there. If I was scalping, I'd be in and out today. Just be careful. We got to break the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame in order to be bullish. I'll clean this up in a second. We'll see it nice and neat. I'll have your mind kind of completed here. And moving stop losses to break even as soon as humanly possible in these type of environments is, for me, just very, very crucial. Until we get a better footing and, more volume. Right now, everyone has been liquidated beyond belief. So, look, this even had a head and shoulder vibe to it as well. Just kind of crazy how it all ended up playing down. Possible little cup and handle, no love. So let's take a look at the weekly, even the monthly time frame. So the monthly too, it almost expressed the high and the low in the same day of the month, which I almost never seen yesterday. But again, now we have an expressively new low. Remember, 87,250 is pretty key. We're toying with it now. We lose 87K and 85 is a weight in 84.5. We hold 87,250. There's a chance we get a bounce. I'm watching the 1 minute time frame right now on the right side of my screen, so I'm catching it for you. There is a bit of a support at 86.8. That's our previous resistance. We could bounce off that. Make a little flag here on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, let me show you. Why would I, we can make this little flag here on the 1 minute. Let me just put this right next to my top down, and we can bounce back if we need. But see that little flag there? But let's bounce on outlet stock. So that's a bearish engulfing candle on the monthly. Another thing on the monthly is it's not perfect, but it's kind of some bearish divergence. You're also very far away from the 21-day moving average on the monthly. Now, no bull market ever came back to the 21 without it being an absolute, like, extreme bearish pullback, right? Even here, even in this double, we didn't. So we've lingered pretty close to it a couple times. I mean, I gotta be honest, like, and there's some bearish div on the stochastics RSI. You see that? And if we go from there to there and there to there, there's bearish divergence there too. Bitcoin was never this big to have bearish divergence this big. So it tells me one of two things. One, that we're in for a super cycle the other way that nobody's thought about. And that we're in for a major retracement. Because too much money came in. And you could see how we pumped before the halving, right? We did not follow the cycle. Everyone tries to say we did. We did not. Everyone's like, we're right on track. We're not on track for the cycle because we pumped. We've never pumped like this. Altcoins actually had a bull market in 2023, if you remember. Our real bull market was October of 2023 to March of 2024. That was all season. There was 50 X's, 100 X's. I had never seen that many X's in my life. That was a get rich quick. I had never seen that many people get rich that fast in my entire life. And the memes weren't that bad yet. They were just getting started. It wasn't too saturated. That was before the market got saturated. All right. And so it was just like absolutely absurd. So this could mean that we're in for a massive super cycle of but look, we could even come down, make a right shoulder. I mean, you could see a $26,000, $36,000 Bitcoin again. It looks like it's absolutely possible. You know, you see what I'm saying? You got to like, because look at the bigger scale on the monthly. We've never seen bearish on the monthly like this. Some say that was your bearish on the monthly and it played out already. I don't know. This is interesting to me. And this is something I'm not seeing anybody consider because you got to be exploratory in this market to find something no one else has seen. To be able to stop, circumvent the market makers, you got to do what the masses aren't doing. And if no one else is talking about something, you got to talk about something no one else is talking about. You got to focus and see things in a different light. So that's definitely a possibility to me. And to me, it's definitely possible we revisit 71,000 at this point. I mean, look at the way the monthly's setting up. Every time I see bearish div away from the 21, we get a pullback. What happens is every time I learn this, I find it on a bigger time frame and I've never seen it before. And now if the monthly plays out, I'm going to learn something about the monthly that nobody knows. 10 years from now, I'm going to know a lot more. You get what I'm saying? I'm adding to my knowledge every single day I go on this live. Every single day I show up. You are too. That's why I like being here with each and every one of you, because I'm with knowledge seekers. I don't want to be around people that get scared and full of fear all the time. Take all my money away, so be it. My money never made me anyway. It wasn't the reason. I don't even have my Rolex on today. I forgot to put it on. You know what I mean? It's great. It's fun. It's a watch, man. Go get your watch covered in diamonds. Go do all that. To me, I'd much rather buy investment property that nobody knows about that creates rental income. You know what I mean? I could buy 1,000 Rolexes or I could buy a nice rental property. You see what I'm saying? You don't got to flaunt your wealth. Build wealth for your kids. You know what I mean? I'm fine. I did buy a Rolex, a couple nice things here and there. I'm not saying, again, people do whatever they want, and maybe, I guess, once you're rich as heck, some people are so rich, it's like, fine, I'll buy a $100 million Rolex. I'm worth $1 billion. You know what I mean? I get it. There's levels to it. But at the beginning stages of your growth, definitely, for me personally, because I'm not a financial or an investment advisor, but for me, it's about thinking about my kids. And you never know how long you're going to be here, too. I know I'm not trying to be horrible, but so if you can, a rental property is rent, your kids will always be able to collect. You see what I'm saying? Like, you hope, as long as the population, I guess right now. So that's a paycheck right there, right? In hard times. Rental properties are a paycheck in hard times, man. Cash producing assets. I've learned the hard way. Believe you me, I had all my money in, I never diversified for a long, long time. And again, it paid off in some ways. Bitcoin was a good, couple things here and there. We rise at bears eating. We rinsing bears eating. 86,930. Yeah. So when you lose the 21 on the weekly, that 34 is lingering. That's the first thing we talked about today, right? The 34 day, which really is your daily 200 MA, though. I don't really need the 34 in a way because I use it. Now, you definitely lost the neckline here. So the 3-day chart's going to close extremely bearish. Extremely bearish. And the moving averages are curving. And usually you need to wait for the 200 now to kind of touch price action. So for me, if we do get a bounce, which we may, something like this, and now we got to wait likely for the, to touch the 300, 200, the 3-day 200. That looks like the likely bottom that we're going to have. And it's like, just like we bottomed here, right around that area. Looks like that could take us, sadly, to the end of May into June. And then we could slowly start to recover July and August. And then we could get our pump into December. And, there's still claims even by August, but I believe it'll go longer like that. Yeah, and if you could extend it a little more, it shows somewhere by October, you could still hit 140,000, even with a dip down to 72K. All right. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Altcoins is a different story. We're going to get into altcoins later on in the show. All right, around 11:15, 11:30. Altcoins, I'm going to discuss it in length, but Bitcoin, and again, I had a feeling that each year altcoins were getting more saturated. Don't you remember me freaking out like last even November, and I said this and everyone kept, see, I do super chats, right? So in my stream, I'm always taking an inventory of what people are saying, and I'm getting a backlist of all these different super chats people are asking about. And you guys see me when I get frustrated when there's just the entire show is meme coins, and I'm like, I don't want the show to be like this. I'm kind of like, like sometimes I have to say, hey, I'm not doing that super chat, because I just dang well know that's just not what I want my content to be about. And it seemed like that's what the entire industry wanted and we're into. And it to me, I was just like, man, and I got disappointed at one point. I was like, I said, I like to find emerging technology. I like to do my research. I want to know who the CEO is. I want to see a docs team. I want to work hard. And I want to put my money behind someone that I believe works hard like me. And I want to see that company grow and learn, and I want to invest in it. And I find that the beauty of investing. To me, that's how I made my gains. Bitcoin did something similar. It just didn't have a CEO. It just had this beautiful technology that I thought could change the world, and I invested in it, and I believed in it. But like meme coins were never my sauce. Like I honestly, making money isn't my thing. Like you could say, well, you're a finance guy. You wear flashy suits. You have a YouTube channel. I get it. But making money isn't my thing. Like changing the world is my thing. I'm into changing the world. Fine. If I get rich doing that, so be it. But I'm going to make sure I distribute that wealth, right? I'm going to make sure that anyone helps me gets paid nicely. I'm going to make sure that I'm always taking care of people that I know. I'm going to make sure that I'm giving to charity and I'm doing something for other people on a daily basis, right? The point is, so I didn't like the way the industry was going, man. I didn't like what I was seeing. And I kind of like this wipeout. I'll be honest. In a way, I like it because I'm sick of fake money, having utility coins that just want people to believe they get rich for no reason, man. That's not the culture I would like in cryptocurrency. And that's not the culture that life provides. You don't get rich for nothing. Nobody gets rich for nothing. Nobody. If you ever thought people got rich for nothing, you just didn't read enough about multimillionaires. Read about every multimillionaire. Their story is a story of ups and downs, pains and anguish, constant battles. It never ends. Anyway, let's get back to the 3-day chart. I don't want to bore you too much here. I want to keep the technical analysis raw and ready. So we've got ourselves a trend line here. And remember, we drew this. We said, hey, if we break down, this is the trend line we're likely going to follow. Well, I actually drew this one. I have to be honest. We even lost that one. But now we got a bigger trend line. Can we wick back up? I mean, a fast move down usually does create a fast move up. That was a liquidation event beyond belief. The news is going to come out just in. Liquidations of billions and billions. I see lower now. You've cut the neckline. To me, it suggests that you're going to go lower. It just is what it is. The 3-day chart, look, even the RSI has room to go down. You got a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder on the RSI. Let's take a look at the daily time frame. The daily also pointing to the downside on the stochastics RSI. Did they even bend yet? No. They're pointing down, crossing the bottom. That's a bearish sign on the daily. When you lose the moving averages on the daily, you go down to the 200 MA. Listen, when you lose the 4-hour 200 MA, your next stop is the 12-hour 200 MA. All right, when you lose the 12-hour, your next stop is the 22. I kept telling you guys, when you're lower than the 22, you just put a stop. You just put a short on the other side of it. Just like when we got above it, I said put a long on the other side of it. Now, if it comes down, you get stopped out right there. Then you reassess. Then if you get it, and boom. I mean, just shorting the 200 MA on the 22-hour time frame is just clutch right there. And then once we lose an obvious support line that we've held for, like, look, you've been 1, 2, 3. You've been on that above that line since one wick, but you haven't closed a candle below that line since right here, since January 13th. I mean, when you close a candle, when you haven't closed in months, 40 days, you got to say, hey, we're sick here. This ain't right. So Bitcoin continued to dump. Let's look at the smaller time frame. I'm not done with my top-down analysis here, though. So we're still in this flag. This flag says we are going down to 85,000. BOOKMAP also has the liquidity to the downside, suggesting we do go further. Let's take a look here at BOOKMAP. And what is today? Today's Tuesday, right? Insanity. I'm just going to restart BOOKMAP every once in a while. It does it. Very rare, but it does it every once in a while. Just going to restart it. I got a lot of stuff going on. I use a lot of bandwidth. So, but if you ever get janky with it, just restart it. Give it a restart. I haven't had a restart actually BOOKMAP like that in weeks, so I don't normally have to do that. I think I was you know what it was? I was moving it around to show you guys the divergences, and when you do that, you backsheet it, and then you can't seem to get it back, so it was really me. Look, even with the, I shouldn't even hit updates while I'm live, but I did anyway. Invalid alias. It'll eventually click on, I'll get the historical data, and it'll start to rally. So you can see most of the liquidity is down at 85, all the way to $85,000. We can't go with we don't have a stepping stone to get there. So 82.5, and then really, so this suggests that you are going to see 85,000. This is not 100%. It's about 80, I'd say 90% accurate. If it suggests we go down to a red area, we do go there. What does that mean? It means that people have longed the market, and this is they believe they've caught the bottom. And what's going to happen is, just like the shorts, every time we go up, people keep shorting. People are going to keep trying to long the bottom, and they're going to keep creating exit liquidity. And the shorts are and basically it's going to be people that want to DCA in, and they're going to liquidate. So the key is to buy spot in fear, not to try to catch a falling knife with leverage. That's my opinion. I longed today. I made one of my biggest longs today when the market took a dump, or my quickest longs in a short amount of time. All right. Usually trade bigger even than 400, but it just, So look at that. Look at the messiness there. Attempted to break out. Nice little flag. At the end of the day, the flag on a cruddy day, you still, a flag is supposed to break to the upside, right? 68% of the time. And you still got almost, and I always say trading 68, you got 50% of the move on a horrible day. I could delete all that and keep that back down, right? Again, that trade, stop loss to break even as soon as humanly possible, which it already was done. You either got stopped to break even or you took a little chunk there. I was not in a trade, obviously. It was a bit absurd. You never know. I always see a couple things and it keeps me hanging on, and that's what keeps me going. Let's get back to our top-down analysis here if I can. Follow me at CryptoLifer33. I'd greatly appreciate it, but I don't want to waste your time. I want to fill you with education. So, okay. So here's the wedge now. And this could be the wedge. And remember last night I saw the head and shoulder pattern too. I was like, shoulder, head. I said, that thing looks like it's going to dump. I said, prepare for a dump somewhere down to about, $82,000, $84,000, right? So it didn't look good to me. That looked like a head and shoulder pattern to me. But you tell me, right? My team ate it up there, and we got the dump. That says we might even go a lot lower. But there you have it. I mean, you could go to 76.5 too. Anyway, the charts kind of tell you what's going to happen. And I didn't open up a massive long, I'll tell you that. And I didn't get liquidated for thousands and thousands of dollars. I kept my head on straight. I kept my trading what I do, right? I didn't make the perfect trades. I wish I did, but I made sure that I covered and I took, and I'm making sure I'm grabbing BTC on the low. So even if we are bearish, I could see a bounce here. And honestly, how funny it would be if it was a shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we break out and everyone's like, you were scared. No, you were scared. No, you were scared. And only the real strong survived here. Only the people that took it day by day, one step at a time, and didn't get filled with fear were able to make it through. Everyone else got obliterated. Everyone else that said they knew it was going to happen. Oh, it's going to do this. The people say, oh, it's going to dump, then it's going to pump, then it's going to do this. The people that tell you this story, I know exactly what's going to happen. First it's going to pump, then it's going to dump, then it's going to liquidate. I always love that. People come on my group, they're like, it's going to go here, there. I'm like, how do you know that? I'm like, that's so interesting. Like, what book did you read? I was like, because I have no idea what's going to happen. I do this every day. I'm so interested in how you know what's going to happen. It's so interesting. Please tell me. Please let me know. So I see a possible bounce here for Bitcoin. You see? Just because you do have a bit of a trend line here, it may give you some traction. Could you say even that is blown? I don't know. Give you some traction there. So let's see. Let's see if 87,000 can hold for BTC. I really like 87,250. That's kind of sketchy that we're even losing that key area. So where do we go if that happens? We go to the daily 200 MA. That's just like, I'll attempt to put a line here, but it's going to come up a little bit as we hit it. Now, if we lose the daily 200, we go to the daily, the 200 on the 2-day chart. That's usually what I've seen happen in my lifetime. So once we lose the daily 200 MA, you close the candle below, you can short down to the 2-day 200 MA. Now we lose the 2-day 200 MA, then you short down to the 3-day 200 MA. At that point, this will be adjusted, but that will be somewhere here at about $68,000, $67,000, right? So we can clearly define some levels right now for Bitcoin by doing a couple things. Once we're gonna draw Fibonacci from impulse, and as I've been saying, I kept even when we were bullish. Remember, I kept saying be open-minded that we could come down to the 618. We still might be at 8. I kept telling you. I said, wait, maybe the 76K. I said, it's not. We're not. I said, until this really breaks out and we get it back above, like even that high there at 102,000. Like we needed 102.5. Because if you can't break 102.5, then you're not going to 106. We had so many chances of some big moves in and out of that area. And it's a clear double top, too. Double top. It's a double top. Like, what? It was a signal. Screaming signal. When I saw that the second we closed that candle there, I was so sketched out. Moving averages were far apart. I said, man, that's bearish to me. That's bear city. The daily looks bearish to me too. So I see us moving down here somewhere to about 81.5. So now that I see the bigger picture, looks like we're going to move down. We could get a bounce. It's likely. So here's the two scenarios now. We do get a bounce. Wouldn't that be amazing? Or we're going to kind of continue down here. So I know what's going to happen. I know what could happen, right? So now what? So what does that mean? Sam, you just told us two different things. I get it. Now we're going to dive deeper for confirmation. 8 hour could continue down. Like, what's stopping it? It's oversold, but what's really stopping it? 10 hour, 6 hour, right? 4 hour. Bearish engulfing candle looks like it just could continue. 2 hours has a little bit of bullish divvy there, but it was up there and it didn't seem to hold. Any lifers down here on the island of Aruba, we worldwide, much love. Anyone in Aruba right now? I got to go to Aruba. You know what? I'll fly there tomorrow. Let's have lunch at the Flamingo Inn. I'll see you there. All right. There's got to be a Flamingo Inn. I've never been there, but there's got to be one. So just like zooming in now, we're back on the 1 hour time frame, and that is the end of that channel. And so you zoom in here and you can see, there's a slight bullish divergence there, but it's really not that strong. And this is going to bug you out, but this is almost like an M pattern that's just been ringed so, like it's M, but it's like stretched. It's a stretched M. I've seen that play out as crazy as that sounds, right? If you're not cool with that, you just do the falling wedge, and falling wedges break down when we're bearish straight down again. So this looks like you'll just drop. Again, previous support becomes resistance, so the short would be something like this, right? To get you started. Unless you bounce off divergence, but it hasn't been strong. So it leads us to the 15. Has a nice div there. MACD wants to cross, but the divergence, like I keep saying, has been weak. This is the bottom of that trend line, the bigger one there. And what I see too as well is a bit of like a shoulder ahead and kind of a right shoulder there. So I'm bearish. From what I've determined, the charts are telling me we're going lower. And I don't see the reversal that I'm looking for. If for whatever reason I'm wrong and this swings back up, I'll trade the break above like the 5-minute 200 MA or the 1-minute 200 MA. But right now I'm not seeing that. So the bulls have, the bears have not shown me a thing. If anything, this looks more like a descending triangle, right? And man, Master Friend even knows how deadly, you know, Master's like, that's it. That's the one, Sammy. Right? And so that's like 83,000. So that suggests the dump is coming for Bitcoin. Let me take a look if I can see that on my 5-minute time frame here. And then this flag is continuing down, which still has the 85,000. And then Bookmap is also in my ear there. So that's a little bit of a cup and handle there. Could it try to bounce? Trying to see, how did I see it there? I don't see it there though. Oh, because wicking, the 7-minute makes it a little more apparent. 7-minute is a little different. You got this like trend line here. Again, symmetrical triangle. These are mainly dumping on us, right? I got to change this song because they got this sound in the background that makes it sound like someone's like calling my phone. Pretty weird. Don't do that. Don't hide phone signals in there. Like, what do you do? So look, that to me is a symmetrical. They've been dumping 90% of the time. So like that suggests you're going to dump right here to the downside too as well. Again, high risk scalp on the smaller time frame. We almost have a head and shoulder pattern too. I can't get the 3-to-1, so it's a little sketchy. You would have to believe that you'd be able to ride this further down, which there's no guarantee for that to get the 3-to-1. It's a 50-50 pattern, go either way. It looked more bearish on the 7-minute. All the other time frames look more bearish. Again, anything could happen. I'm pretty, cautious on price action right now. But if I had to call it, I'm telling you, this is going to drop down to about 82K right now. You're going to get a nasty drop. $4,000 drop, too. It'd be pretty crazy. Let me just kind of inch out that short. The take profit would be 82,385. The stop loss would be somewhere at about 88 even. If I full ported completely, I'd go $4,000 for 13,000. I'd make a nice 13K on this. All right. And I'd probably make it in about a couple hours. So I just want to think, like, would I like to full port? If I lost $4,000, I'm not trying to be rude. I'd be okay, However, not really the move. What if I win a quarter and I win 1,000 for 3,500? Doesn't seem as bad now if I took the L 500 for 16 and we go 275 for 9. It just depends on like how bad you want it. Now it's a sketchy day too. The odds look pretty good that the flag will go down in my favor, but there's no guarantees. Nothing is guaranteed in trading. I could lose $1,000 in front of the world. I could also win though, right? And to the victor goes the spoils. What am I happy to? What am I proud to lose? I like the 500. I made 400 this morning, so I'd be down $100 if I take the trade. And there's good probability that it does want to dump. I got to break through the fear. Even I have to break through the fear. All right. Scared money don't make no money. But I also am up on the day, and I got to just think, like, is it worth the risk? I mean, it does look... I got to be tight on that stop loss, though. It's a little sketchy of a trade. It's not my favorite risk-reward ratio, and we'd have to be able to ride it down to, like, 81. It says 85,000 would be the likely bounce area, and that's, like, somewhere right around here. What do you say? Do I take the trade or do I not take the trade? What do you guys think? I just want to see what people say. I'm gonna do whatever I believe is adequate regardless. I just want to see what the crowd reaction to the trade is. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for everybody on the like. That's very nice of you. If you hit the like, that is great instant karma for you. You're helping me out with my wife and kids. I have a small business. Hitting the like is really like writing a review and telling people that you love my store, you love my business. So thank you so much for hitting that like button. It's amazing. Everyone that does that is going to come back to you tenfold. It's a good karmatic move. All right. Buy spot. We're not. I know you guys are funny. No way. Do it right out. Full port, baby. Who said that? You know what I mean? I could see it bounce. Ours half of today's till. I'll be responsible for you gentlemen. Hold on, did I do it? Let me see here. No, okay. All right, I mean, we went over the probabilities. They say we're likely going to win the trade. Everything's that we've done this many times and we've won, so we should just go with what works, right? We'll see what happens here. Didn't have the guts to full port, though. Too much fear. It's a weekly cycle, low week every time. This happened the last 4 times. Bitcoin did it 2x. Interesting. It's literally likely to go down. Everyone tell him, call a vote, and trade off of it. You're funny, man. Yeah, I want to see the sentiment of the group. We should do a group trade every time and just see what the group thinks. And we'll have like a group account, and it'll only be trades that the group wants. And we'll see how the group does it as a whole. I think that's kind of fun. I wouldn't mind doing something like that, but I want to swap to the stables, but no, because down bad and got stuff staked up and tied. Yeah, see, that's what happened too. People got stuff tied up. They got to go to hardwood wallets. They don't want to do all that. But it does look like we're going lower. And we could go all the way to 81,000 here. 85 looks like the next area of contention, though, for sure. So you got to stick to the script here. You think Pippin's about to... Oh, my God, man. Let's just see if there's anything hot right now. And, again, this could easily reverse and flip. Just be careful. Don't risk what you're not willing to lose. If I lose this trade, I'm still up in the day. Remember that. So I'm actually trading quite responsibly, even though I wanted to full port it. But you can't do whatever you want. You got it little by little. Small trades add up over time. The full port would have been great. To make 13 grand in front of everyone, though, I get this ego. I'm like, make 13 grand in front of everyone. You could risk 4 grand, Sam. Who cares? You know what I mean? But like that pushes someone way with less money to be riskier than probably they need to be. And so I think it's when I show reserve and responsibility, it's better for the world. Even if I could be riskier, I could do that on my own time, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Bitcoin recovers as Trump is causing a de-dollarization that could collapse the dollar if he keeps threatening to take over. I mean, the tariffs will start, right? And when the tariffs start March 4th, this could be just a tariff shakeout, honestly. Let's take a look at the S&P futures, as I told you we would look at. And did we lose the trend line now? That's kind of crazy. Like, I expected the dump because we were at the top of the trend line. I still expect us to wick back inside this pattern. I still don't buy this. Like, I still expect us to wick back inside the pattern. Money print to go brrr. Yeah, like I'm just not, I don't know why. I have no sense of fear. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm just really not reading the charts anymore. But I see this as a possible inverted and they're going to print that money. This thing's going to flip, and that's probably one of the best buy zones for the S&P of your life. And then it's going to resume on a massive tear. Or did we double top of the S&P? Is that it? Is that the end of the rally here for the S&P? I see a bounce. I see heavy fear and a great place to take advantage. I mean, there was a double top of the 3-day. You do have a bearish engulfing candle. You came back to the 0.5 fib. I mean, you close a candle below 59. I mean, it does look like you'll come back to the 618 at 5,800. Wow. Well, you could see signs. I mean, the Stokes got overbought. You would hit a resistance there. I knew there was a pullback coming. You can even see I had it drawn. Like, we knew there was going to be a pullback back to the bottom of the channel. That's what I wanted. That made the channel. And then but today is unprecedented. We got to get the bounce. It's interesting how the S&P is dumping with Bitcoin. So this is a bigger issue. This isn't just BTC. This is a world economy issue. Like, this is like everyone looking at the tariffs, you know. You can. I'm live every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I haven't taken a day off from my live stream since February of 2021. I'm the only YouTuber in cryptocurrency that can say I've never taken a day off in over 4 years. And I really say that with earnesty and honesty because it's just something I really care about. My dedication to the stream and to my students and to everyone in my life. And my dedication to just what I believe in. When I dedicate myself to what I believe in, it helps you dedicate yourself to what you believe in. And a day like today, I may be very close to move that stop loss very fast to break even. Even if they just barely retested this, look them up 11 now, might just be kicked off. Not going to give back my $500 win so far, or my $400 win. If it barely retests again, I can re-enter the same trade. I have it set up the same way. It was supposed to dump and keep dumping. It's not supposed to play games here. It's already not doing what I expected to do. Like, that candle stay red and keep dumping. They're going to stop me out there for tiny. Oh, maybe do I survive? It's good music for this. Does Sammy stay on the trade? Does the wick get him? Or does he get to stay inside the short as we dump all the way down for Bitcoin? Only time will tell with the trials of the crypto lifer. Turn the next page to find out what happens to Sam Price in Chapter 3. He stays inside the short. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The wick doesn't get him. I've never seen a guy do something like that in my life. The fact that he's still in there is insanity. He's out of his mind. They're going to clip him. They are going to clip him. If they don't clip him, I don't know what he's doing here. I have never seen anything like this. The announcers, their faces are flabbergasted. There are people in the crowd. Their mouths are open. Nobody has seen a guy pull a short move like that with a stop loss at break even. Absolute insanity here on YouTube. I've just never seen it. Bob, have you seen this? You know, Joe, I've never seen anything like this. It's absolutely absurd. Could you pass some coffee over there, though? I need a little coffee. I mean, unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. This guy's got something up his sleeve. I'm telling you, he should be in the World Series of Poker. Now, we'll see what happens. I just want to entertain you. Could be a nice little stronghold of a double bottom here. Hugging for BTC. Or is there more downside for Bitcoin? That's what the charts tell us, that more downside is coming, but nobody knows. All we do is trade probabilities. The fact that we hit so many times in this live is just insane. And now we're waiting on this candle to close red. It looks like it may still clip us. The insanity. Look at them flip it. I look at trading sometimes and I'm just like amazed at it. I'm like, really? Like, it'll clip you, rip you, dip you, flip you. The key is to always to lose less money on every single transaction. Like right now, I know I can't lose. They can't. If they obliterate it up, then I'm good. And then what I'll do is I'll sit, I'll wait, and then I'll long the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. Wow, they may be back to clipping me now. It looked like I had it. It looked like I had it in the bag, man. How you going to wick right there and then come eat the wick again? Candle closes in 1 minute and 11 seconds. 111. 111, baby. I'd like to get this candle to close, even just indecision doji style here. A red close would be so much better, though. How do I know when the candle closes? Countdown to bar close on the right side of the screen here. That's also a trading view hidden menu there. Shout out to the 2,500 people here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. We may have... now, if I get hit this second time, it's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? The first time was insane. The second time was insane. The third time, this candle should be closing at 31 seconds red, but let's see. Nothing should or would have could have happened, right? Let's... Maybe I have second two. Oh! And there you go. There's my lime. That thing's gone. Got a lemon from yesterday, but it smells funny. I can't use it, so I'm out. I just got to go raw. Man, now they're going to flip it green again. This is insane. Look, I'm watching the 5-minute candle. This will give you gray hairs. A lot of times when you match a trade, that's why I like the tutor to me. I can flip it, dip it, and just walk away. All right, so they closed that candle red, but indecision doji style. But usually that means you're going to dump. All right, so they closed that candle, and that candle closed red below the candle. That should update there. And there it is, starting to bleed. And now you've taken out these two candle losses there. That's going to be a takeout of the tweezer bottom. That's where a lot of people would have longed. So you know there's liquidity right here. There's a bunch of stop losses right here. So it's likely we go obliterate them now. And again, we can see it. We're cheating a bit here. We can see the stop losses. Like, BOOKMAP is telling us where the stop losses is at 89,490 and 85K. That's where the most liquidity is. We're likely going to go into that area. If I full ported, I'd be up thousands of dollars. Now I should have went all the way. No, I'm just. The key is not to lose money. Add to the trade. If I just make another couple thousand throughout the week, it'll be a great week. It's worth $1 and a crayon. Oh, now look at this now. Wicking back up again. Crazy insanity, man. Come on. This makes it tough. See, like anyone looks like trading is easy, man. Trading is the most difficult thing you'll ever do in your life. The fact that you're still here, most people are going to get flushed out. Nobody's going to be able to maintain, man. It's just very rare. It takes a very rare person. If you're still in this game, you are a strange individual. All right? Very strange individual. It's kind of like people that didn't take the old, you didn't take the thing. I mean, with all the manipulation, all the family and friends, everyone pressuring you, and you still didn't do it, you are one of the most mentally tough people to ever be built in this world, man. And they did everything they could to manipulate you to do that, and if you didn't do it, if you did, so be it. Some people had to do it. I get it. Some people did it even though they knew it wasn't right. But I bet there's a correlation to people that hang out on the bear market and that didn't get the, look, there they got me. They're going to clip me after all that, but they're going to double bottom. So there's a chance I'm wrong now, and I don't have to lose to be wrong. I can just get stopped out of break even. And look, now that could be a double bottom. Now, again, I don't rush too along. Now I want to see, okay, break the tutor to May. Like, can you break this falling wedge now? Pretty ugly pattern, if you ask me. Not much to write home about. Honestly, it's some pretty strange price action compared to what we see on a regular Monday, Tuesday. Very odd, actually. I mean, you take what the market gives you. Would have loved a nice flush to the downside there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder right there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder there. As you can see, two head and shoulders that dumped you. I mean, you're going to attempt an Adam and Eve now? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know, pretty strange behaviors. Let's take a look. Like, No fall through. So it looks like a descending triangle there. Looks like it bearishly retesting the bottom of the triangle, honestly. Attempted to get back inside the pattern with overbought Stokes. Still a pretty strong bullish divergence there. You see that whole thing kind of moves up, but that trends down. I'm a detective here attempting to find out which way price action is going to go this morning. It is not easy. It never's easy, but sometimes it's a little more spot on. So we got a double bottom of the 5-minute time frame. That's really what we're watching right now. Higher low, technically. A slight higher low. 30-second wanting to break back above the Tutoring one more time. And attempted it here. It's attempting, if it can do it here, now it can really get the bounce. It'll short squeeze all the way back to 88K. It'll happen pretty fast. I got to use the 30-second to identify what they're doing. It's a bit awkward. So all I can say is this is a falling wedge. It's attempting to break out 68% of the time. And it's a slight higher low. The pattern itself is like, before we were in some type of like this. You can say we lost it. We're going to try to come bearishly retest that. That makes the most sense to me. This just doesn't make any sense at all. So it looks like you may be getting above that 30-second 200 MA, which is a catalyst for a pump. We know that. But away from the 21 again? No. And just look, I could have been one of those people that got shorted out. But look, I smartly moved my stop loss to break even very fast. I've been doing that for the last few weeks more than ever because the price action, if you've been in my trading group, you can notice like it's been trickery on the smaller time frames. I've been very cautious. I go back and forth more. I cover. It's just been this hasn't been the same type of trading we've had for the last 2-3 years, even in some of the roughest times. It's taken a lot of mental energy, every single thing I have to maintain. My kids and my wife understand what a tough job I have as a trading leader, as just someone, if I didn't even run a trading group, just managing the portfolio the way I do, handling the ups and downs of Bitcoin on a daily basis. It's not for every person to be, it's not for everybody. It's really not. It takes a very mentally strong person to be in cryptocurrency for more than 5 to 7 years. It'll honestly either force you to leave or force you to be mentally tough. Like you'll take one of two roads. You won't really have a choice. Like I'm not even trying to say I'm the greatest thing. I was formed to it. Like just hang out in crypto long enough. You'll either leave or you become mentally tough. Like there's really no road. That's it. That's what's going to happen to you. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone says don't pray for it to be easier. Pray for more strength. I prayed to God for strength. He gave me more problems to make me stronger. I wanted to become one of the greatest traders in the world. That was my desire. Then think about how many pitfalls and ups and downs and roadblocks I'm going to have to hit. God's going to make sure I hit some of the hardest ups and downs any traders ever have felt for me to hit some of the biggest gains that any traders ever hit. So every time I hit a big loss, every time something doesn't go my way, every time I may make a call that maybe isn't perfect, I tell myself, I say, this is my road to success. This is my pathway forward. I said, if I am not losing, then I am not on my way to winning. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is the stepping stone towards it. Everyone thinks failure is the opposite of success. No. People that aren't going towards anything are never failing at all. They're living an easy, comfortable life. People that are pushing every day are failing. You're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to fail. I fail every day of my life, up and down. There's things that I don't do perfectly that I work on every single moment of my day. But what I do focus on is not giving up on myself, staying positive no matter what, recalibrating when I know that I'm off, maybe getting some sleep, getting some food, or maybe even just taking a moment to meditate or going for a bike ride in the woods. When you're off, when you're not feeling right, when things don't seem complete, go into nature and reset your mind. Please, most people aren't going into nature a few times a week, and that's why they're stressed so dang much. There's just no moment in time for them to rest the brain. So look, we got, you know, I had this short, got stopped out of break even. It ripped out this flag back to the upside. We crossed the 30-second 200 MA, which we know is a catalyst for a move. We did get the pump, 21 coming. And now we're looking for the 1 minute to cross the 200 MA. And back to 87,000. We know a key level of resistance and support now is the top of this high and these shoulders. 87,000, about 200, and 87,600. You got to get a daily close back above that. You got to get back above the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. And this may be the end. Like maybe we're going to start to recover here. You said, Sam, it's going to dump. Again, I have no idea where Bitcoin's going to go. I want to say that yet again. I have no clue where Bitcoin is going to go. I know nothing but the fact about ignorance. We're going to take it one step, one moment at a time here. Let me get back in to see if I'm going to make a trade. Dang, that was that was crazy. Low stochastic bounce. It did double bottom technically. Slight higher low there. You could say, okay, the only thing we have here is this. I mean, it's a double bottom. Almost a little too obvious, but... And I can't get a 3-to-1. I would have had to play the exact bottom, which on a day like today, no. Be proud of yourself if you made gains today and you're not giving them back. If you scalped, moved to break even and you didn't lose, be very proud of yourself. Like if your second trade of the day was a break even and your first trade was a win, I mean, that means you're a proper risk management trader. That means you actually have some good chance of being here 5-10 years from now. Everything else, I don't know. Because everything else works until it doesn't, and when it doesn't, it's mentally destroying you. People that use very risky, strategies, they get a lot of rush when they make it. They get a really low when they don't. I'd rather stay pretty. I want my highs and lows to be pretty even. Like when I lose, I don't lose tons. When I win, it's not huge, but every once in a while I get a big one. And by doing that, I keep my emotions pretty flat. Now, if you're winning huge and losing huge, I mean, the losses are going to take a toll on you. And eventually, 1 or 2 losses in a row or 3, I believe will be too much for you to mentally stay in the game. I know that I wouldn't mentally be able to handle multiple liquidations in a row. I would eventually give up. I wouldn't be able to keep trading my leverage account. I would believe it's not worth it. And I'd rather go back to picking, I shouldn't say, but, selling corn or doing, what I mean is doing labor. Like if I couldn't handle the charts, I would go back to doing what paid me. You see what I'm saying? All right. Almost said something that I don't want to but I would do it personally. I'm saying I'm not afraid of hard labor. I'd go back in to digging dirt. You see? Because I know at least digging dirt, I can make my money. I'm not going to hand my money to leverage trading if I can't handle it. And so when people take on too big of a risk and go too crazy, that happens to them and they end up back at work. Even though there was a strategy there was a system there that could have printed money from their house. But they chose to go too hard, too fast, without any real true knowledge. That's why I really, really stress leverage trading shouldn't be used unless you understand how to spot trade. You have some consistency in trading. You've developed a strategy. You've got at least 4 to 5 months. You know what you're doing. You can open the trade without thinking. Your subconscious mind can see your support or resistance. You know where you're at. You know why you're there. If you're not doing that, you're not ready, in my humble opinion. And you're likely going to give it back. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. I'm just an honest guy that doesn't want to see people lose their money for no reason. And I know I worked a night shift. Everyone acts like I'm I'm 4 years off of, my channel, 5 years old. I still remember what it was like to work a night shift. I rode my bike to work every single night. I did, because I knew I could save my money, and I took this train that I used to get on for free. I had this little game that I played, and so I had a free commute to work basically most of the time. They didn't always take my ticket. They took my ticket 10 or 20. So I'd buy a ticket that lasted a month or 2, and I'd keep it on me. And see, what happened was the train went from, this is a really quick example, but whatever. The train went from all these Long Island stations, and then it would leave a big train in Long Island, go all the way. And here would be Penn Station. And there was this one little stop called Woodside that it would stop at and then go. And this was just a 10-minute ride to Penn Station. And I would get on here, and only 1 or 2 people would get on. And the train conductor already went through the whole train, and he didn't feel like getting out of his little comfy spot. He was getting his bag ready, collecting his lunch, because he might have to go to another train. And he had 10 more minutes finally to rest. And he'd already gone up and down every single one. And it was his 10 minutes to finally... And I found a lot of the conductors like that 10 minutes. So even if they saw me get on the train or not, no one would get my ticket. And I'd take a free ride. I had a ticket in case they caught me on it. And I did this for years, everybody. And I paid probably... I don't know, 10 or 12% of the time. Everyone told me they were a stickler. He would walk and he'd walk all the way to come and get me. And I'd be like, man, no one ever does this. Why are you going to do this, nerd? And I'd pay. And in my mind, I'd be like, man, you're not supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to get a free ride right now. So for literally years, I got a free ride to work. And then I rode my bike to work. And I worked a night shift. And I did everything I could to buy as much BTC. I live so humbly, everyone, to get where I am today. Everyone tries to see I'm a flashy guy. They try to say you've changed and all this. I didn't change. I'm the same dude. I still cherish every single day under the sun. I still love sunsets. I still love going out into nature. I still love everything that's free and simple in this life. I didn't change. I may have changed my clothes. You know, the show may have blown up a little bit, but I'm still Sam Price. So look, can we get this move here out of this flag to the upside? I want to see if we can get to 88,964. Man, it's flagging out, right? Curving 21. And that's why I love discipline and focus, because you can't buy it with your money. You can have a rich daddy, but he can't give you discipline and focus. And it's not, discipline and focus doesn't know your race. It doesn't know where you came from. It doesn't know what country you live in. It only knows how much you put into it and how much it'll give you back. So if you're out there working hard every day, if you're setting your morning routines, if you're never giving up, if you're making sure that you're putting your best foot forward so other people can be inspired by your decisions to win, you're changing the world. And you're doing what needs to be done to help others change the world as well. If we cross the 200 MA on the 1-minute time frame, we might get ourselves a bit of a bounce here to the upside. That's my go-to signal. Sometimes it's almost too fast. You have to get ready for it. So I could long up to maybe even 90,000. Wouldn't that be amazing? Now 90,000 sounds like a dream. So sad. Stop loss at 87,143, because 87,250 is a key area for me. We go back below it, that I don't really want to be in the trade anyway. So one for $500 trade. I'm going to take it because that's my signal. When we're above the 200 near the 21-day moving average, a lot of times we get the pump. We may come up, come down, make a flag. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. So let's get back in. I'm going to leave this alone now, but that's just one of my signals. It may not play out. It's $100 for 500. It's not a big deal. I've seen it play out many times. Let's see what goes on. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let it cook and not even look at it. Looking at it will only bring too much, So I want to see this S&P wick. I want to see us get back inside the pattern today. A reversal here with some big news in the afternoon that changes the whole tide, and everyone says, you were scared. No, you were scared. It just doesn't, market sentiment to me, the pattern to me is in an uptrend. That's a low. Those are double tops, but that's a higher low. And for me, for the S&P to dump, I'd have to see it close a daily candle below 5840. All right. Let's take a look here at the fan funding. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you all. I was prepared. Thanks to you. Made $140. Shout out to Kids Crushing Fish. God bless you. Huge thanks, Sam. Your Ondo TA doubled my bag. Shout out to Jason Bouillard. It's pretty amazing. Lifer, did you sell your soul? No, I did not. You would know. I would say I panic sold the soul. Can you go over the importance of the fib retracement, please? I mean, it's the likely where we're going to go. You aren't crazy. You just grind harder. God bless you. Sam, look sharp today. Your perseverance and consistency is something everyone else should look up to. We appreciate always being the guiding light for all of your followers. Vegas, stakes on me. I can't wait, buddy. God bless you. But I probably won't let you do that. I'm going to go to the bathroom and pay behind your back. Hey, Sam, can we look at the historical data? Previous bulls, you're going to have to prepay, man. You're going to have to call and prepay on the phone to get me. To pay for me. Hey, Sam, can we look at the historical data from the previous bulls and see the effect Bitcoin dumpage has on the altcoins? It just has a major dumpage, man. Yeah. Would your followers count from 99 yesterday during the stream to 92? Because I don't want to talk about it, actually. Yeah. It has nothing to do with me. You figure it out. Yeah. If you can't figure it out, it's up to you. Yeah. I don't mean to insult you. It's just like, yeah. Yo, brother, can you take a look at Storm Money on Dex Screener? It's 3 million MC. I've been receiving USDT every 5 minutes. Charts also don't care about Bitcoin, not if that's okay. Thank you. The way you said it, super nice and polite, makes me, you did it in the right way. And shout out to my man, God is love in Aruba. Shout out to everybody here. Tima has started to move up by 24%. Seems like reverse is coming. Oh, man, this guy. Morning Lifers, IP new layer going against the trend. Just boom. I bought a bag on low. Yeah, IP looks interesting. I'm going to give it to you. Let's take a look at IP. I went over it yesterday, and it had some legs. Let's take a look at IP on MEXC. So I put it out in a flag, and I said, this thing looks good to me. I said, the 2-hour time frame looks like it could come down and bounce, right? So to my trading group yesterday, I put this out, and I said, this thing looks like it could bounce. I said, I'd look for the 2-hour to kind of, and it didn't do another 2 hour. Like, look at the 1-hour reset. The 1 hour did reset, but it did slightly what I was talking about. See, it was up. I wanted to see it come down. It did. You could reset. I'm not trying to say I'm like perfect here. Yeah, you got to work with me. And, but I basically was looking for this to break out and go to 573, and it did. I mean, it did that. Like, you can see this. I gave this to my trading group. I talked about it. It didn't hit the alert. My alert's a little far back. But, boom. I mean, I was interested in this. It looked bullish to me because it had tight moving averages, and it was near a point of control. Whenever I've seen that, there's been a move to the upside. So I was looking at it, wanted to get it at, personally would like to have gotten it back down there at 440. Went to about 455 though, which ain't too bad. And then it spiked to the upside. This thing does seem to have its own legs going. Looks like Bitcoin flopped over, right? Oh no, it's actually still in the green. This trade may play out, baby. We want that 21 to cross that 200 MA, and we will be in the money. Fireworks. I'm not going to stare at it. Just do what you're supposed to do, chart. You do this all the time. I've watched you all the time do what you're supposed to do. Don't make me look stupid, man. Come on. I backtested it for years. I gave it my life. At least let me win today in front of everybody. So all my nerd time pays off. At least. Let my nerd time pay me. So it looks like we're going to get a reversal, and IP is the one that's going to win. So there's always opportunity out here. I was going over this with my trading group. It wasn't perfect, but we definitely had it on the radar. And I see this continuing. Watch this flag for 17% gains for IP. Story. Let's look at Sonic, too. Sonic continued to rip. And it's funny, I was on Crypto Face's stream yesterday, and we were talking about S, and he was like, what's this S thing? And he looked at Sonic like a coin called SONIC, which was a piece of garbage. And he was like, this thing stinks. Oh, that's actually Sonic, but I was trying to tell him, I'm like, that's Phantom. Like, that's rebranded Phantom. I don't know, maybe I'm trying to see what coin it was, right? Look at this. Everything fell to the downside. Nice. Look how nice that consolidation looked. And this thing was beautiful. Pumping nicely. No love. Stopped out. Lost the 200 MA too now. So this is the weird thing I'm seeing on almost all the charts. Below your 200 MA, it looks somewhat like a bear flag to me. And Bitcoin continues to drop. Phantom will follow because Phantom is Phantom. It's an OG. It's got a gap in the VRVP. But I mean, so far, my trade is booming. I'm booming. I'm not even up yet. What are you talking about, man? Stop running your mouth, boy. Looked like it was going to... I guess I got in a little too late. Right there. I don't know. It's dwindling. Should have moved by now. Like, that's pretty weird to hang out right there above the 200. No go. How about auction bounce token? Morning Lifers, IP layer 1 going against the trend. Just boom. Thank you. Anyone sees anything against the trend, let us know. I'm always looking to see what could be against a trend. But we did look at this last night. I mean, my system can identify something that's strong. So look, that's rejection by the 200. That's not what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to pump by now. It didn't do that. So it already didn't do, the model didn't play out already. You could say, okay, it's just trying to touch the 21. I'll give it to you. Could also be making a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and that could Bart Simpson right there. You basically need a bounce right there. If you don't, then the flag's nil. Hold on 1 second, so I just get in a train of thought when I'm super in the sauce here. I don't even know what time it is. It's 11. I don't even. How is it 11:59? How is that possible? I thought we just, maybe we get 1,000 likes. I would greatly appreciate it. Much love to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We have made so many awesome gains in the stream live. I always forget them when I lose, like I've never won before. It feels like that as a trader, right? You ever lose, feels like you've never won before? It's that overstream of dopamine. And it looks like you're going to head and shoulder your way down here. See, you didn't break. You got this. This usually by now I would have won the trade. It's wasting my time now. Yeah, now I'm just like, all right, I want to move on. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. Only thing here is it could be a bounce on the 21-day moving average. We'll let it cook. So you could bounce right off the 21. You're there, right there, like that. Now you could have the inverted head and shoulder. Now we could break out. See, it's crazy when you've seen so much price action because you can see so much stuff at once. It's good and bad, but over time it plays out. It helps you over time. Wow, look at that. Okay. Anyway, that's why it's not even worth paying attention to. So Sonic, look, it's in a bear flag. That thing looks like a good breakdown, but it could also be the greatest buy in the game. I mean, I'm still torn, everyone, because this is why. Let me show you something. I'm going to stand by this and say, it looks super bearish. It doesn't look good at all. But a slice of pie yourself, and you can check on pie and see how it's held up. Shout out to Ricardo Arcia. We'll take a look at pie. Our auction bounce token somebody asked about. I just wanted to get to that. Hold on though. Bitcoin all-time history index. Let's go to the weekly. And I'm going to continue to show this over and over again, right? But here's the deal, man. I've never, in Bitcoin's history, it's never had a top until the pi cycle crossed. And so, like, right where we're at. Also, though, let's just take a look at the pi cycle red line and how we've interacted. Let me get rid of the stock to flow. That's annoying. So look, we come up, we cross the red line, we bounce. Is anytime we get rejected by the red line? Let's just look at the cycle here. Right there, look, we got rejected by the red line, had a little bit of a dippage, about 4 more weeks, and then we got back above it. There we plowed through the red line. There we had a little rejection. We stayed under for 5 weeks, actually 10 weeks, and then we got above it. And it was in a bear market. There we were below it. Bearish times. That was the 2022 low. No, sorry, yeah. That's, 2012. Just was looking at the date of October. Here again, we hit it, and here we see a rejection. We eventually get back above it. You're going to see why I'm saying this. Here we rejected by it in a bear market, though. Ever in a bull market are we rejected by the 200? Right there, we got back above it, though. Here we got basically, once the bear market began, we got inside of the pi cycle, which inside of the red and green line, and we stayed inside of it the whole time. And the bear market, we were below. The bear market, we're below. The bear market, we're below the red line. And you can see here we spent some time below, which is different. This was a different, here's some time below. But we were in between. Right here, we were in between. But now, look, we're back outside of the pattern yet again. Back outside of the lows there. Even on this chart, that just looks strangely bearish. Now, I'm still under the impression that these... So, like, we're at the beginning of a of the bear market. I mean, the beginning of a bull market. The bull market always seems to begin when these are far apart. Like, that's whenever you get a big pump. Like, and then when they get close is when we start to, like, But they don't, when they touch is when you end this, that's when you top out. And so, like, these would have to, like, maybe they can top, maybe what this is doing, though, is just bringing down the height of the cycle. Because before it was looking like the cycle would have to go somewhere at 180, 102K. Now, I get it. This might pull down and go sideways and then come up here, and then they could reach somewhere there, like 180, 100, somewhere in between. But it still says that, like, the top of the cycle, October, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take some time. For when the last time these were really far apart, it was August 20th, and they couldn't come back together till March of 2021. Now, it was under a year. So same thing here, like March, and then they come back together somewhere in December, and that's our top in 8 months. So, like, I can't get with the idea that we've created a bear market, or we're in the middle of a bear market, or starting a bear market for Bitcoin at least, because of the pi cycle. And I could be completely wrong here, but I stick to the pi cycle. I've been using it for years. It's helped me out through many, many ups and downs. And I gotta, I have some controls here that have kept me in the game. That long looks garbage now, right? Yeah, you're just folding over. You're making the shoulder, head, right shoulder there. Look, there's your neckline. I'm hanging on by a thread there. Again, that was my signal. We break above the 200 MA. Strange that we didn't get the pump. We usually do, especially with it. Very strange. Like 90% of the, I'd say 80% of the time, that plays out. So, it's me annoyed when I've backtested something. I've watched it play out numerous times and then it doesn't happen. But again, you have to know that even for me, that's not everything I backtested and find out isn't going to play out. But come on now. And now you're rolling over. So now let's take a look at what's happening. It's like you got this you got a topping signal again. Major resistance. Again, 87,250. I told you it was such a key level. You're back below it again. No go. You got to get back. You got to close the candle above 87,250. If not, you're going down. Like, I got stopped there. So they didn't make it easy to figure out where the trade was. Just bigger time frames. Stay off the smaller time frame really has been sketchy business. But here, this does suggest here, just support and resistance flip. 87.5 short, right? Stop on the other side and see how long you can take it. They couldn't get you back above, so you're just shorting resistance. You're not doing anything too crazy. So to me, that's the last thing I could say is just like, bear flag and dump. I gave it how it makes it move back up, and it didn't want to take it. Like, it has to break the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. Has to do it. Once it does that, again, if it got its above it again, I might go at it again. It's a Tuesday, but I have to remember too, wacky volume on a liquidation Tuesday, so. Bounce token. Somebody asked about what is bounce token. On Coinbase, auction. On the weekly, it looks interesting, like it's bottomed. Had a couple nice weeks of action too, and it's in a giant cup and handle. You may be onto something that could pump here. Looks like it may be defying Bitcoin slightly too. Oh, it's ripping today too. Look at that. From the 8s to 15s too. Interesting. It got above the 200 MA and it just got it got sent. I don't know. I'm sketched out by every coin right now. It takes my mind a couple days to like reset after the dumps and begin to build and be like, okay, what do we want to do? And that's good. You know, I don't make rash decisions based on Bitcoin moves. Like, you got to just let the dust settle, see where you're at, and then go from there. Let's see here in the live chat. Yeah, I might be done with the day trading for sure. Like the day trading today, you know, just trading today just because why not? I mean, look at that. The daily getting above the 200 MA, that's a bullish sign. If that can hold and the 21 can come up the price, then that's something I would look at to play. I'll put an alert on that, you know, because it's strong compared to the rest of the market. A good way to find strong coin, just go to CoinMarketCap, see if anything is up right now in the last hour. Like Story IP, we actually, that was strong yesterday, and look, it is up 32%. Funny, Celestia up a little bit too. A lot of staking, so. And Sol up, you know, Sol is actually up too in the last hour at 143. So I could see altcoins bouncing first before everything else because they got sold off worse than everything else. So they're not in the same down period as the S&P, as Bitcoin and all that. Wow, finally lost 20 on Hyperliquid. Finally lost 10 on Caspa. Jitto 250. And again, I've been opening up the wallet, buying more BTC. Some would say, why not buy more altcoins? A lot of altcoins I bought lower than this, like I did. All my prices I bought in mostly lower than this. I bought Jupe lower, Solana lower, right? Render did not buy lower. You know, Optimism lower. Jasmine a little lower. Injective lower, right? Algo, no. Cardano way lower than this, you know. Caspa way lower than this. Like Ondo way lower than this price. So multiple coins here I bought lower than the price action is at right now. You know, Floki lower than this. Chainlink lower than this. Sui lower than this. You know, I got in at 90. Remember I did a couple swing trades on it. I then parked some profit in there. XDC. Wow. And Pax G2, another coin at 29 right now. We'll take a look at that later on. Mantra DAO was the hottest thing. Finally took a bit of a pullback. So look, Bitcoin bounces off that flag. They're just going after the longs and the shorts there. But I'm telling you, when you break the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame, it creates a frenzied move that can pay. It can pay very, very well. So, and whenever I've missed it, I've kicked myself, especially on a reversal day like today. So I go at this. This is my model. I'll take my model 2 or 3 times. I'm not risking thousands of bucks. 90,014. Just what I'll do is I'll lose my model twice sometimes, and then the third time it rips. And then I look back and I'm like, dang, man, I should have handled that. I'll just use less risk each time, like 60 for, 300. Something like that. It's even 50 for 180. But I hate to get that moving. That thing should bounce, man. And the 21's on it now. That is my model. Like, come on now. That's it. I'm taking it. I'm not backing away from my model. And again, shoulder, head, come on, come up, make the right shoulder, stay above the 200, and boom, baby, boom. Don't take this head out. I trade this so much, man. This is it. This one's supposed to rip. Come on, baby. Do what you're supposed to do now and take me home. If I full ported it, let's just see what would happen. It would be 2,200 for 9,000. I'd make 9 grand today if it rips. I'd lose 2 grand. Now, say I traded this 10 times and I lost it 7 times. I'd lose 7 times 22, about $15,000, $1,400, right? But if I win it 3 times, I win 99 grand 3 times. I'm basically up 27,000. 27,000, right, is more than the 15,004 by 12 grand. So if I traded this 2 grand for 9 grand, 2 grand for 9 grand, and I only won 3 out of 10 times, I'd be up 12 grand. Understand? People don't realize that. So you could see me lose this 3 times in a row and think I'm the worst trader in the game. But you would have to know, like, over time, you know. So it gets, again, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be risking $2,000 for $9,000. The portfolio is a smaller portfolio. It's got 12.5 in it. That would be against rules, right? The ruling is I can risk $120 per trade, all right, which is 1% of the portfolio. Amen. All right. So let's see. It could make a right shoulder. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't like it, but it could make a right shoulder. Some heavy resistance here for Bitcoin at 87,007 now. People just taking profits at 87.7. Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. So it seemed to be a good area for people to eat. Again, it might be a nice short area. Just made 323 long, a 1 minute entry at 87.112. Saw 21 across the 200 on the pump. Out at 87.43. Interesting. Like, you got this little move right there, yeah. I'm going over the idea that we're going to get the bigger pump. Not happening. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, we'll let that one sit again. Let's look at total 3. You know, your daily tutor May is usually a great place to get into altcoins. We could be on the beginning of a bull market and just want to make sure that they got the prices they wanted before everybody else. No, you were scared. No, you were scared. If you're not afraid of being broke because you don't live in fear, then this doesn't bother you. I don't have fear in my life. I don't live in fear. I just don't. If I lived in fear, I wouldn't be here live every day. I wouldn't be wearing suits talking about BTC every day. I just wouldn't. It wouldn't make any sense. I'd be too afraid of it. So I don't live in fear. So I'm not afraid. So nothing, you know, it doesn't. I believe that God's got my back. My mom died while she was talking to me. What else? I mean, that was my biggest fear of my life, is my mom dying, everybody. You know, in a tragic way, too. That was the biggest fear of my life, in a way where I couldn't protect her. I couldn't help her. I couldn't be there for her. As a son, you want to be there for your mother. You want to protect her from everything. You want to pay her back for all the time she was there for you. And you grow up into a strong man, and you see your beautiful young mom, your mother, and she's like, not young, but you know what I mean? You see your mom as just a fragile, beautiful woman, you know? And you want to be there for her. And to watch your mother struggle and to watch your mother go through pain. For a man, and for everybody in the world, but for you know, only son, that will tear you up and drag you to the depths of some lows in your mind. Like, you have to use everything you can to push through and believe in yourself. And without God in my life, I don't think I'd ever be able to do that. So God is a huge portion of why I'm here every single day. Bouncing off the Tutoring is key. We lose that, we drop. It's just simple as that. But I mean, that's a previous support and resistance, a Fibonacci retracement at the 618. It's the 618 Fibonacci retracement at the 200 MA at previous support and resistance. I mean, if that doesn't hold, it's a coincidence. And there's no such thing as a coincidence. That thing looks unreal. Look at that thing. Storm money. I mean, that thing plowed ahead right now. It kind of looks like BTC the way it did the. Wow, that thing boomed though. Now it looks like it's you might be exit liquidity at this point. I mean, it double topped. Pull a fib and look for it to retrace. Or see, you know, I feel like it lost the trend line already anyway. Got some support right down there at 012. That 786 Fibonacci retracement. Yeah, I'd be out of there. I've been through so many of these that I don't even care. Amen. Exactly. Same as me. And every time I get more and more numb to it. Every single time. Look at this. Shoulder, head, right shoulder rejected again by the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. So they're getting saucy on us. So let's get rid of this. Again, it's going to be low volume, absolute craziness. I'm still, hey, I can't tell you how many times I've kicked myself when we've crossed that 200 and I didn't take it. So taking it is a good thing for me because the more I take it, the more I win. And I repeat that to myself. So I just keep doing what I got to do to survive. I mean, that looks like a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder to me there. See, a little shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. The liquidity wasn't as thick as it was before, but it still does say we go down to 86 to 85,005. And now again, you're looking at like a symmetrical, but you're below the 200 MA, so I have to stay bearish on that. And you got rejected twice by it. And you got resistance at 86, 87.6. You just, that's a major resistance now. It's going to take a day or two to like really fine tune where our levels are going to be for Bitcoin and let the dust settle here. That higher low is awesome. Low, higher low, third higher low in a row. But you got to say, look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. You got to say it's going to go further down. So we're looking somewhere here at 85.4. It could go either way. But I'm saying more downside here. I'm not going to trade right now. I'm going to take, I got to rest my eyes. I've been looking at the charts since 7 in the morning. It's 12:20 now. I'm shot. Warren's sitting on 33 building his biggest cash pile ever. Maybe he knows something. Of course, right? I mean, he's not a cash pile. Think about it. The market's extended. He just takes money when the market gets extended. It's simple what he does. Think about it. He's cash heavy when the S&P's extended, man. That's all. He's just playing the long game. That's all he's doing. Makes sense to me when I think about it now that I've been in the market a long time, you know? He's playing the obvious idea. The chart says alts are in a good place to buy. That's what the charts say. Mentally, it looks no, but the chart says that alts could be a good place, you know. The ones that I care about, I luckily have bought pretty lower than theirs, so even then, I'm still covered on that idea, but dang, man. This has been a vicious cycle. A vicious cycle. If and when we win this one, it'll be like... Almost like, I almost feel somewhat not worth it. I mean, I guess I'd say it will be worth it. We'll see how much money we get at the end, but right now it'd be like, dang, man, like just going to work would have been easier. That's what I tell everyone. Thinks trading is easy, buddy, and I'm almost like, it might be harder than going to work, man. It may not be for you. Like, trading ain't easy. A lot of people like things that aren't easy. Some people are linemen in NFL. That is not easy, man. But they love to do it. They dream for it. You know, they live for it. But that's not easy at all. Pi looks like it could continue to pump according to anything else. Look at the alert. Look at the tightness. Again, market is sketchy. If it takes a dump, it takes a dump. Just be easy. It has been ripping. But when something rips like this and consolidates that tight, it says to me something's going to pop. And when the MACD gets lack of bearish momentum like this too as well. So I'd set alerts. Everything looks pretty sketchy. But if anything could move, Pi is like the hottest setup I could see right now. Like if I would trade any setup or you're thinking of putting any money into anything, Pi looks interesting. And I'm not in love with the project. I don't own any. This has nothing to do with me in that nature. I'm just going over a chart. That's all. Can you look at the triple V's? Eric Vornay's, Venice, right? $133 million. It flattened out, actually, since it came out. It has a pretty good use case. So it shouldn't be a fly-by-night coin. And it's doxed by someone amazing, right? In the space. I don't know enough about him to be a fan or not a fan. I know he's built a lot and he's worked in the space a long time. You know, it's attempting to pull out a giant Adam and Eve double bottom here. This has a general use case, so you would see if a lot of coins with no utility fall off, this could fall in. Like, more people could get into this. So it's on my radar, 1226. And it could easily just go to 0 too, but I might pay attention to it. All right. So many cryptos named after food. I'm fasting here. Funny. I never go back to work. Spend all my days learning and trading spot and perp. Amen. I think I don't like pie. I think something weird. I think it's something about it. I can't tell you. I don't like the bad mouth projects, so I don't know. Something about it throws me off. I can't place it. I can't put my finger on it, but something about it throws me off. Something about it just doesn't sit right. I can't place my finger on it. So. And the music stops. A bit odd. What happened? Let's get that music back up and running. One of the most crucial days for Bitcoin ever, as we saw a massive liquidation. We'll find out that true number. Looks like Bybit's sending Ethereum and Bitcoin, or BlackRock, it looks like, sending Ethereum and Bitcoin to Coinbase. But maybe, you're like, why would you do that? Don't you need it for the ETF, right? Still a bit of a cup and handle here, attempting to hang on. Faked me out twice on the move. Hugging a higher low, somewhat of an inverted. Can it break out? The bigger time frames say we're dumping down, right? BOOKMAP says 86 to 85,000. Look at it's deep red down there. But we keep seeing to hang above 87K. To me, you got to get back above 87,006 to remain bullish on the daily time frame. Yeah, some alts are holding okay comparatively to Bitcoin. I agree on that. Let's take a look at SWI. 287, a bounce from 261. Yeah, SWI's getting a bit of a bounce, but it's not, it's like a V-shaped recovery type, but it's just doing what Bitcoin's doing, everybody. Bitcoin gets a bounce, it'll attempt to bounce. So that's, I've been abandoning the 5-minute 200 and only using the 1 minute and using the 5 minute. That's been a better signal for me the last 2-3 weeks when the market's got less volume and more fickle. It just takes more volume to get there, so by the time we get there, it's a more defined signal. Think about it. So there tends to be a better play with that. So if I do get into a long, it probably will be somewhere up in here if we get back above the 200 MA. Watch this flag. There is some promise of a bounce here. It doesn't look horrible, but the bigger time frames don't look too good. So the smaller time frames are going to have to dig us out of here. You got to get back above 87.6 to remain bullish. If you do not, expect more downside. Everybody, I love you. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Remember, I teach class the last Saturday of every month. That will be next month in March. If you want to jump on in, there's a long time to jump on in. Hit the QR code or the link. We'll hook you up. God bless everybody for being here. Thank you so much. Red tie, red pocket square, almost a red coat on a red day. I even have red pants on, if you can believe it. I did. I wore red pants, dude. I swear, I wore red pants. I'm Santa Claus right now for the red. But may God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for jumping on in. It looks like an inverted head and shoulder there. Could be a reversal here. Going back to that 1 minute 200 MA yet again. Watch this be the one, and it's gonna rip. It's gonna rip this time. I tell you what, you gotta love trading. Everybody, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. May God bless you, and thank you so much for supporting the Crypto Lifer, the show, and for supporting yourselves every single day. Stay true, stay amazing, believe in God, believe in yourselves, stay positive, and something beautiful is going to happen to your life. Trust me, there's just no other way. You're gonna be in control. You're gonna make it happen. Your frequency will attract abundance.